You've probably all heard of the law of supply and demand. But how many of you have heard of the law of supply? If you don't know about the law of supply, you're missing out on the key to prosperous and happy living. It was my lovely wife, Ruth, who first discovered this law for me. But it wasn't till years later that a fine educator found the right name for it. If ever anybody ached to know the secret of success, it was I. As a boy, I worked my way through school running a dumb waiter at the Boston YWCA. Afterwards, I made a fair salary in Syracuse. But most of the money went to pay off the heavy debts of my own education. At the same time, I managed to put my younger brother through college. One thing was for sure, I wasn't able to save a nickel. When Ruth and I got married, we really started on the proverbial shoestring, and a well-worn one at that. But Ruth wasn't despondent, not even for a second. "Let's just keep on working and trying," she said. "You'll see. We'll get fresh insights and ideas which we will turn into workable plans." Well, 30 years have gone by since that night, and neither Ruth nor I have even missed a meal. We've had some nice homes, all of the necessities, and even some of the extra comforts. We've raised and educated 3 children who have given us nothing but joy. We've traveled all over the world, made many wonderful friendships, and had more than our share of prosperity. A friend of ours put the way we had tried to live and work in a simple sentence. Let me tell you about it in a moment. A while ago, Ruth and I visited Dr. Frank Boyden, headmaster of Deerfield Academy, an outstanding school for boys. He told us how he had built this great institution from practically nothing. In the early days, Dr. Boyden was beset by every kind of adversity. Time and time again, he had close brushes with bankruptcy. "I'm sure the bank wrote me off 100 times," he said. "But funds always came." "How did you do it?" I asked admiringly. "Through the law of supply," he declared. He then told me he was able to work his head off because he knew that nothing was more important than making men out of boys. All this, he said, stimulated the law of supply, and it's still flowing. It was Ruth who put 2 and 2 together as we drove home from Deerfield. "The law of supply," she said, sort of awestruck. "That's just what I've been practicing all my life. This is our big secret of life."